Welcome to the Car Guys, and this week it's a sad farewell to one of the greats. That's right folks, the time has come, you knew it was. This is the last dance of the Ferrari F12 TDF. So this is it folks, the last dance, the last journey in my F12 TDF. I thought this would be the right time to talk about the whole journey that I've had with this car, all the things I've done, the enjoyment that I've had, and really why I'm probably going to be comfortable selling this car once and for all and not having it in my life. I know many of you cannot possibly countenance the idea of me selling a TDF or of it not being on the channel, and obviously I do understand that. It is a special car. One of 799, allegedly. It's in glorious triple layer yellow. It's got that stripe, it's got that carbon, it's got the signed engine bay. It's sumptuously appointed in here. It's very tastefully specced. Believe me, I get it. I know why you would be disappointed in my decision, but there are good reasons behind it. Not that I'm going to go into in detail here. I'm not going to pretend that there's some special project in the background that requires funding, for example. But suffice to say, it's the right time. Am I getting the new Gordon Murray T50? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Some beans? Oh my god. Oh. For now, let us all reflect on what a stunning car this is. Terrifying, yes. Quite dangerous, yes. But when all that's said and done, this is an incredible automobile. Before we get started, a quick wristwatch check. This week I am wearing a Rolex Sea-Dweller, and this is known as the anniversary model. It's got red writing on the dial. It's one of those classic looking Rolex dive watches, and many people believe this one might be a future classic. I bought this car in 2017 from Romans International. I had a couple of my trusted sources and consiglieres looking for a yellow TDF, that's what I wanted, and there's been a lot of people out there looking for me, and eventually this car was sourced, a one-owner car in exactly the spec that I was looking for, with actually quite a few options that I didn't expect. It had done, I think, around about 1,000 miles, and it is now done 6,000 miles. So overall, I've done about 5,000 miles in an F12 TDF, which I am quite proud of. This was not a garage queen. This was not left to appreciate or to be speculated or to be flipped. It was flipped, obviously, by the first owner, but I always intended to use it. I paid well over £800,000, which was a significant premium over the around about £400,000 that the first owner had paid. But I had an irrational want for one. I had the funds, so I kind of went for it. Do I regret that? Well, since I'm looking at a thick end of 200 grand depreciation right now, yes, I probably am. But look at it this way. I've had 200 grand's worth of fun in an F12 TDF, and there's not many people that can say that. So what have I done with the TDF since I've owned it? I suppose the biggest thing I've done is, of course, participate in the 70th anniversary Ferrari rally all the way from the south coast of England through France and Switzerland into Italy to the actual Ferrari factory and the Fiorano test track. And without a doubt, that was one of the greatest experiences of my life, because I got to drive at the time Ferrari's flagship V12 special edition supercar back to Ferrari itself, and that is magical. Just seeing the crowds lining the streets, cheering, people shouting at you to drive, to go faster, to rev the car, just one of the most special experiences ever. If you get the chance to do something like that, just do it, because it is incredible. But it really was one of the perfect uses for this sort of car. This is a Grand Tourer after all, and that was the grandest of Grand Tours. But then there's been other trips as well. I've taken this car to Heveningham Hall for a supercar driver event, and the Hunt family graciously laid on a lot of hospitality, and we were able to drive this car up Horsepower Hill. During the event itself, and obviously lots of people loved looking at it. I also took this car to the Supercar Driver Secret Meet. It has been to a number of supercar driver events all around the country, so I feel that I have used it properly and it's been seen by a lot of people. Everywhere you go in a TDF, it's an event. People cannot help but stop and stare at this evocative shape. It really is, I think, one of the great modern Ferrari designs. It's muscular, there's lots of cues back to Ferraris of old, like the 275 or the 250 GTO. It's got an awful lot of swoopy bonnet action going on. Every corner there's a great angle, and it has also been one of the signature cars, of course, of the Car Guys Garage. It's one of the cars that we're quite well known for, and it's of course one of the cars that many of you aspire to own. So there can be no doubt that I've got my money's worth, and that this car has been one of my favourite Ferraris to own. So why in the name of all that's holy am I selling it? I'm not going to give you the full reason, but partly it was because I found myself driving it less and less. It was weighing on my mind that the mileage was creeping up and the value was coming down. I do incidentally believe that these are going to be future classics, but for me right now, this is just a move I've got to make. It is an intimidating car to drive on UK roads, which generally, for those of you around the world who don't know, are quite a bit thinner and considerably more bumpy. But one thing it never fails to do is dish up thrills. Every time you get in the car, you strap yourself in like an astronaut about to be blasted off the launch pad. You ignite the fury that is that V12 engine, and basically you hang on for dear life. Are there any downsides to TDF ownership? Well, not many, and most of them obviously are financial. So depreciation, quite a downside. Costs quite a lot to insure, so this one car costs over £3,000 a year to insure, and bear in mind I'm really old, so cars are not meant to cost that much. If you curb any of the wheels, God knows how much that'll cost. If you damage any of the panels on this car, I mean, just don't, basically. Don't ever damage any of the panels, because I'll let you into a little secret. The front nose cone of this car, because it's triple layer paint and because the whole lower portion of the car is carbon fibre, the list price on that little item is £30,000. 30 grand for a nose cone with no protection whatsoever. They must be mad. Another downside was when I found some corrosion on the rear tailgate on this car. Given the fact that it was only 1 year old, I was quite surprised to find corrosion there, but to be fair, Ferrari did sort that out, no questions asked. Servicing is obviously free, so there's no real problem there. Nothing's ever gone wrong with it. One thing's for sure, whoever does buy this car next will get one of the finest specification F12 TDFs that's been made. They will get a still low mileage car that's been perfectly maintained and driven. It's never been tracked, it's never been abused. I've never used the launch control on this car. I find launch controls just a bit uncouth. It's fully PPF'd, it's been looked after perfectly. So whoever does get it is getting somewhat of a bargain and a properly sorted car. And they'll be getting one of the finest modern Ferraris with probably the best and crispest gear change of any car. All the passion, all the sound, all the emotion, and all for just over 600,000 of the Queen's pounds. So I guess what I'm saying is, like the F40, I've had my fun. I've enjoyed the car, I've had a lot of fun, a lot of adventures, and after 3 years I think it's time to move on to something new and exciting. Will it be as exciting as this? To be honest, few cars are as exciting, but hopefully the new adventure will be just as entertaining. Remember folks, my 488 Pista Spider arrives imminently. It's been finished. I think it's on a truck. It's literally on its way to the UK right now. If you're a subscriber to this channel, then you will find out about it first. This is in theory going to be the final journey for this car. I am driving it right now to the Octane Collection, and my friend Lucas there has offered his services to sell this car. Will I regret it in the future? Possibly. Could I buy another one in the future? Probably. That's the thing that many people don't take for granted, is that generally there are more plays to make in the future. Unless you've got something totally unique, you can always get back into cars at a later date. If the circumstances right now aren't right, I'm sure in the future there'll be another opportunity. So perhaps, rather than shedding a tear now, think about all the exciting things that there are to come. If we can have a TDF in the garage, what else could we get in the future? Thanks for watching this episode on my last drive in the F12 TDF. If you like what we're doing on the channel, please subscribe. It really helps us a lot. We do appreciate it. And also leave as many likes and comments on our videos as possible. We read all the comments and we do respond to many of them. And I can assure you there will be another Car Guys episode along next week.